What's going on? You're watching Andre at A Entertainment. I hope you're doing well. Looks like North Korea is not playing any games right now. Neither is Trump. Get this. This was released not even 24 hours ago. We all know about North Korea and their attitude against the whole world. Trump made some recent closing statements about Kim Jong Un, and let's just say I don't think they're going to be friends anytime soon. I want to thank Scott Anthony for releasing a alert confirmed for the ICBM capabilities EMP threat. That's Scott Anthony YouTube channel. Go ahead and check him out. Channel is political commentary, mostly for government oversight and legal analysis. Pretty honest guy. In the recent live stream that he did covering this stuff, he really put out a lot of information. He really put two and two together, coming from his own personal perspective of things, and looking at the truth. And the reality of it is this. So, North Korea. I've got so many headlines going on right now. It's crazy. So they've successfully tested first intercontinental ballistic missile. That was today, July 4th, Independence Day. What are the odds of that? So U.S. officials are saying that now Kim Jong, North Korea, his dictatorship may now possess pretty much more or less the ability to strike the U.S. from both sides, front, back. It goes like this. I'm going to cover the ICBM missiles. Now, these things can fire off and cover a distant range of 3,500 to 4,500 miles. That's far. That's pretty far. And success was taken that these ICBM missiles can be mobilized. Kind of like in the back of a 18 freight trailer, you know, big transport truck. pretty threatening, I guess. You know, there's no other missile like this out there. What this can do is create a nuclear devastating event, or a huge cataclysmic EMP. If you don't know what EMP, I'll cover that real quick, is an electromagnetic pulse. Pretty much destroys the circuits that everything runs off of that electric grid, basically a power grid. Now, it just comes to that being said, I just want to come to say that I don't know if you noticed, but there have been some serious amount of massive power outages everywhere. The biggest one recorded yet is Central America. The whole continent. The whole continent goes down. Wild. I think it's just, coincidence? Yeah, right. And they all say it was all due to one circuit line. That's baloney, my opinion. But check this out. U.S., Trump, and South Korea, President Moon, are joining alliances, and they want to raise sanctions against the regime of North Korea. And it just goes to show that this country is this leader thinks he's God, and he has no love, no human respect or morals for humanity itself. It's sad to see what his country is going through, and I would not hate, but I would really dislike to be his neighbor. I'll tell you that much for the least part. But efforts by Russia and China right now are trying to ease the tensions. And Vladimir Putin and the Chinese president, Jinping, held talks in the Kremlin. So the Kremlin is deep in Russia. I believe it's Moscow. It's like pretty much under the Pentagon, in other words. The situation in the region could affect all nations worldwide, both side by side. But this is where it gets really worrying, more or less. Not too long ago, there was a man, Otto Webmers. I believe if I'm pronouncing that right. He was taken as a political prisoner. He was a student traveling in North Korea, and from the story I'm reading, from what I can understand, they cuffed him, imprisoned him in a labor camp for supposedly stealing something. I'll pull it up here real quick, but it's like at the hotel that he was staying. It's like he took a piece of he took a piece of paper or something that a document or something, and he made it. I'll get it up right here, there in a second here. But anyways, this man just recently died. Otto Warmbier. That's right. Hey. American university student while visiting North Korea as a tourist in 2016 was arrested and sentenced to 15 years of hard labor after being convicted of stealing a propaganda banner from his hotel. It seems pretty redundant to me. You know, he's staying at the hotel and he's stealing a propaganda banner. It just really doesn't even make sense to have something like that in the country that Kim Jong is representing itself to be. It doesn't make sense. Anyways, unfortunately, he passed, and after the imprisonment, he suffered severe neurological injury, and so Trump released a statement that what had happened here just not too long ago, I believe it was June 30th, that Trump pretty much told the world straight out, straightforward what North Korea is, what it's all about, and that they're pretty much against the world. They have, it's really sad to see a leader like that take place. But nonetheless, so this person passed away. Sorry, I'm just gonna find my my state here. Ever since then, I guess you could say things have been firing up more. Even since January 2017, North Korea has tested, I think, 9 or 10 missiles. These new nuclear missiles. That's pretty. What would you call that? Provident that they are succeeding and in their technology, and of course that side of the world is like 10, 15, 20 years more advanced in technology than the Western hemisphere. What I can put together is that the ballistic missiles were fired from North Korea's border. China is and Russia is really not wanting to see the spill here happen. U.S. analysis are calling for global. How did they pronounce this? Not global threat, but global action is required. Nonetheless, just around the corner from now, July 7th, 2017, is the G20 summit. And what's going to be happening here, going to be taking place is they're going to be talking about financial establishment around the world. Not only that, but if an EMP would strike, how much would they lose of control of the financial society that they use to feed us, to make work and education and societies run. If an electric grid goes down, then this calls for strike. It's war straight out. It's pretty intense right now. This is probably the hottest news of the year, so this is why I'm going to be covering it. I'm going to be doing lives. I'm going to try and host 2 a day. I'm also contacting many other YouTubers. We're going to be streaming live. If it's not going to be hosted here, it's going to be hosted on another channel. I will keep you informed. So please make sure you subscribe to A Entertainment Live. That's this channel right here. And also subscribe to my main channel, which is just A Entertainment. Pretty increasing threats right now happening. Now get this. If you're not aware about Iran and the US, well, they've had their battles and their sanctions. And when Obama was in office, he had to play a couple moves to keep them quiet. Anyways, it's been known that they don't have nuclear weapons, so to speak. I strongly feel that they do have some power of nuclear power there. You have all these countries all the way around, like Pakistan. There's a few others there in the region. They all have these nuclear powers. Now, Iran and North Korea have some connection here at stake. If North Korea was to launch from its country or in the region, they could strike over Alaska. But if they were to deploy from Iran, they could target the east coast of the Western Hemisphere here, North America, Canada, US. These things raise thoughts in my head because one thing is, I don't know if you've seen any videos in the past couple of years related to New York going underwater or a nuclear devastation hitting East Coast. Things like this ring my bell, and I want to talk about it, and I want to know what you think about it. We're seeing so much going on right now with just this alone in the last 24 hours. It's crazy. So check this. United States has requested a closed-door meeting of the United Nations with the Security Council on North Korea's latest missile launch. Yeah, United Nations. So guess what? Obama's going to be there, more or less. Australia has a fair play, has a suspicious play in this, because I forget where I found this article, but it was leading to a trail, like a paper trail, more or less. But it seems like North Korea was looking to conquer, I guess you could say, international waters, and they wanted to use Australia as a battleground. They wanted to. I'll have to find this. I just read this about maybe 2 months ago. I'll show you guys. I'll do a screen share here, and I'll show you guys exactly what I'm looking at. I'm looking at a lot of information right now. I can't even keep up. This is some serious stuff because, Kim Jong Un has some pretty big balls. And, he's not liked around the world. And you know what? He doesn't care. That's his implement. He doesn't care. And I really think strongly that he could be playing some serious chess moves to create a strike. Now, this is just my opinion. I'm not saying that it is going to happen, but this is really getting a lot of countries concerned. But get this, Australian government has condemned North Korea's latest missile test, the 11th. Um, it's pronounced. I can't even pronounce this. I think it's Pyongyang has launched so far this year. But Foreign Affairs Minister, which is Julie Bishop, said the ballistic tests were in breach of numerous United Nations Security Council's resolutions. So, is Australia ruled out now that they want to allow North Korea as a launch site? But these threats keep on with North Korea. Especially, it's just so funny that the day of independence, July 4th, everybody's out celebrating. Nobody's going to be paying attention to the media today. And then what does North Korea do? You know, it's think about it. It's just so funny that when the Western Hemisphere is busy celebrating being patriotic, you know, the Eastern Hemisphere is making some pretty blatant moves. I'm going to come to the chat, give a little shout out. So all in all, within the last 24 hours, South Korea's new agency announced that President Moon has called also for an urgent National Security Council meeting. If I haven't mentioned this before, he just made alliances with Trump as well over the rising threat of North Korea, and then they go and pull this off on the day of independence. Japan's prime minister said Japan wanted the international community to strengthen pressure on the North. And he said he will speak to President Trump and South Korea, President Moon, at the G20 summit in Hamburg later this week. That's going to be in Germany. Russia and China have proposed that North Korea also declare a what's the word here? Moratorium, I guess you could say, on the nuclear missiles tests, while the US and South Korea refrain from a huge scale of military exercises. Moscow, now get this, Moscow and Beijing are suggesting that these missiles come to a halt. The missile tests, all in all, even under agreement with the U.S. and Seoul freeze military maneuvers, that the parties could sit down for lead to obligations, I guess you could say, to not use force against this regime. But do they really have a choice? I mean, is the West just going to sit back and watch North Korea do its thing? They've proven themselves not to be, part of this world, I guess you could say. South Korea's defense minister also has said he would consider a preemptive blow against North Korea if felt like there was a direct threat. And he says, and I quote, "We're taking various security measures to enhance the effectiveness of customized deterrence strategies for defense." Yeah, bold statement. Obama likes to use a term when he was in office: strategic patience. Trump made it pretty clear that his strategic patience has failed. meaning he's moving on. Trump is a guy who likes to get things done. He likes to, you know, he kind of reminds me of North Korea's opposite. Kind of, Trump can be aggressive, but I would like to be on his side. If I was a political leader, I would like to share a cake with him. North Korea, I'll stand on the sidelines. All right, in the chat, Angela Hartson, Jacob, Lloyd. So another thing that's pretty crazy that I want to talk about is these elites, the world, the globalists. We know who they are under the covers, behind the shadows, and what they do. They're involved in a lot of satanic worship, so on and so forth. July 7th, 2017 is 777, a very impacted number that's not always going to occur. And um, could this be a devastating button day? I have no idea, but you know, Kim Jong Un stated that these little presents that uh, were launched today are coming bigger and smaller as they come. So what is that? Is that a threat, or is it just media talk? Is it Twitter? Trump. I've never seen a president go so hard on Twitter in my you know, there's no other Twitter page like Trump's Twitter page. Holy snaps. So coming back to the US side of things, US Secretary Rex Tillerson. He's really pushing for global action. So what is that? You're going to get NATO involved? Are you calling for? You're going to get the Pope to come over for coffee and stand for New World Order again? I don't know, but we're seeing a global threat rise, and you know, it just goes to it just goes to just so happens that North Korea has these advanced missiles that nobody else really has, and it's it's pretty impactful evidence what they can do. Just imagine facing an EMP. Imagine facing an EMP. It would throw America, Canada, and the whole Western Hemisphere back 200-300 years straight up. And then what's going to happen? And then it also raises concerns and questions for me about Russia and China and their standing in this, because they're neighbors, and they're all Asian. Russia is Asian, and Russia, Putin, he hasn't been so what should I say? How should I say this? He's pretty guilty of his own things lately. For the longest time, I could never wrap my head around this DHS, not DHS, but election hacking. But it just goes to show, Russia is an Asian state, part of the world. They have a lot more and way more advanced technology than we do. Now, for the longest time, never mind 6 months, I'm talking about for the last 10 to 15 years, Russia has been known for its hacking in a lot of different areas of intelligence. And it's not just the states that are proclaiming election fraud or hacking, but so is Europe, big time, and a lot of other countries also too. And Putin kind of acts just like Kim Jong Un in saying, you know, pretty much doing his own thing. And in the when he was on the media live against not against but talking with that woman there from CNN that nobody can stand there, he pretty much told her that You have no idea what hacking is, because she was trying to prove that from specific IP addresses and other states of physical addresses that give away location, intelligence, whatever, wherever you be worldwide, is proving that Russia is behind it all. And like, I have to agree with Russia on this. You know, she doesn't know anything what she's talking about, because it's a when you come into the encrypting code of, you know, uh, the internet and everything else that's is so impacted in there, you can encrypt and change anything from anything and add on. And even in, it's like backdoors to anything you could. It's crazy. Like, there's no other hackers in the world like Russia. Never mind anonymous. They're 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 drunk Americans. That's all they are. They're pissed off Texans from it's a bad joke from the CIA, honestly. But like, I can't stop thinking about this right now, because now it's July 5th. There's 2 days up until this meeting with G20 summit, and North Korea, there's going to be some action now over there going on. So I'm really going to cover this. I'm really going to stay on it. It's pretty big, man. It's pretty big. It's what a lot of people have foreseen and forecasted years ago, and even coming into, um, it could turn into an apocalyptic event. You know, it's pretty crazy. Referring to scripture, you know, the Lord tells us, nation will rise against nation. People will be vice and very evil and inhumane to one another. Period. Straight up. And we're seeing this right now, and we've been seeing it for a long time. So how much patience is Trump and the other country alliances are going to hold together? What are they going to do? Because it's like this: if they keep waiting for North Korea to make a move, it just gives Kim Jong Un more grounds to make his move. Think about it like that. It's another way I could say it is, let me see here. I read it in another article just the other day, just the other hour, and it made so much more sense. A strategic event, in accordance to this, for what we're up against right now, or what's in the air, it's also strategic. Okay, if the U.S. and South Korea are going to step up sanctions, North Korea will certainly move faster in getting its nuclear ballistic missile programs as far along as they can before any negotiations on freeze or dismantlement. You know, there. Yeah, it's pretty hardcore in my opinion, man. Yeah. So North Korea is capable of targeting not only Alaska, like I had mentioned, but a good part of northwestern Canada. That'd be like British Columbia, Alberta. Um, yeah, there's a lot of natural resources there. Oil sands in Alberta, the second largest oil sands and reserves in the world, and a lot of mining out there. There's a lot at stake right now. It's crazy. I can't wait to see what unfolds every 4 hours from now, because um and I'm really gonna keep a close eye on Iran and Turkey and those little countries right there that are, you know, they're not part, the ones that are not linked, the ones that are not in it with NATO, and those the European Union, and it's crazy. It's crazy. So the U.S. definitely does not want to swim by the the international waters near Japan, even if they really wanted to go after that little mountain that they found of gold. Forget it. No way. Crazy. Crazy times indeed we're living in. In the chat, Babu, what's up? Yeah, crazy missile, man. 3,500 miles in distance. That's crazy. Minimum. South. That's crazy. North Korea really has the upper hand here. Really, really, really does. Really, it's crazy. But all this for say is all planned. A lot of people forget that these are these are just puppets. There's there's shadows that lurk in the background. Another news, um, besides North Korea or U.S., Canada, Prime Minister jihadist Justin Trudeau is setting up a fund, or not a fund, but literally he's giving $10 million to a Muslim who killed a U.S. soldier in Afghanistan in 2000. Let me go find that. Yeah, I was pretty shocked to hear this. If you want to keep up with Canadian news, Rise of Islam, Justin Trudeau, go and subscribe to Kevin J. Johnson. He's also one of the um, podcast hosts and guests here. So Ottawa to offer Omar Kadar apology, 10 million in compensation. Compensation for what? Well, here it is. For abuse he suffered while detained in the U.S. military prison for captured and suspected terrorists at Guantanamo Bay. Yeah, ridiculous. I don't know if you knew this, but I'm going to say this. Justin Trudeau has ties to Al Qaeda, and he's been changing the Canadian chart here. He's been changing laws. Justin Trudeau is pushing laws in home and in school for populations to accept transgender ideology. And if families do not uh, back this or force educate their children in their homes, they have gives the province more rights to come and take your children away. Also, coming back to Islam, Justin Trudeau has also attended several mosques that are pretty much CIA Islamic institutions related all the way back to Al Qaeda. Also, he is changing the laws on um, freedom of speech, especially when the liberals push this Islamophobia propaganda in Canada, giving um, Muslim religion Islam to a new bill called Sharia law. Many are you aware? Um, you know, in any type of event of war or pandemic or whatever, um, this these people, the Islamic Muslims, can pretty much take over the whole country. We are not allowed to discriminate against them, yet they're destroying our cities. They are invading our schools. They want to, the Peel District School Board of Ontario wants to push all schools to participate in Islamic prayers at school. Way to go, Justin Trudeau. Let me tell you, Justin Trudeau is a Muslim. Crazy. I've been. It's crazy. It's crazy. Our time now is short, and I'll tell you this. There's nothing that we'll never see anything new under the sun. Earthquakes are rising. The birth pangs are getting stronger. We're seeing a lot of biblical events take place, and I'll tell you this: whenever the big earthquake hits, the big one, but just before this, there will be many that come forth to us as our gods. I recently uh, released a video about this on my main channel. you know, there's going to be a huge UFO alien disclosure soon, and it's already starting slowly. If you haven't noticed, but there's a lot of uh, sightings and stuff starting to reappear again. And the UK actually released classified information for the past, I don't know how many years and years, but out of 18, they released 15 classified documents just quietly. They released it. Um, yeah. So, be prepared. And if you don't know anybody, I mean, if you do know anyone who believes that the aliens and extraterrestrials, they're they're part of something better and greater for us, don't be shy. Butt your head in there and let them know that you know every civilization on this earth that's been here has ruled its country or its government the same way that the world is running right now. And the next big bang is this: we're gonna see some fallens. We're gonna see they're gonna come out from their hiding, just like the Aztecs or the Egyptians or the Mayans or the ancient Asians. It's all written in stone. They worship these fallen gods, huge beings, and then something happened, catastrophe. And ever since then, every time civilization had to restart from fresh, from born, from new, they were obsessed with time because there's a big line there, especially if you understand the Hebrew calendar. Right now, we're at the end of the 6,000 year of the Hebrew calendar. We're going to see soon again a release of Fallens. We're going to see Nephilim. They're gathering up an army right now in Antarctica. And so, check this. If we face an EMP because North Korea decides to, because they have the power to, that means black. Black. No electricity. It's going to wipe out the power circuits and everything. Everything. You won't even be able to start your car. You can't get around. You can't do nothing. Okay. Pure black. You know. Wouldn't that be a great time to release the Raptors? The Raptors, the Nephilim, the hybrids, just take out people because they're cannibals, right? The Nephilim are disgusting exotic offspring of the fallen, you know, and it's crazy. It's crazy just to even want to think that, see that, believe that, but it's true. History proves it over and over and over again. Nephilim are real. So yeah, I'm moving off topic here a little bit, but yeah, I'm going to come back to the chat. If anybody has any questions, shoot along. I only have 3 viewers right now. That's impossible. That's impossible. Wow. They're definitely hiding my stuff. They don't like me. I'm so censored over here. It's crazy. What do you want with me, Google? I'm just a French Canadian. All right, come back to the chat here. I'm going to be hosting live shows all week. I have family that's here with me, and we got lots to talk about. A lot of biblical proportions and aspects of things and what's to come. And it's going to be some great shows going on this week. Babu in the chat, are there any Muslims in North Bay? I'm not gonna say no, because I don't live in North Bay. North Bay's a city. I'm on the outskirts. I'm hidden. I guess you could say call me Sudbury No Rad. If any intelligence is listening to this, you're gonna laugh. But yeah, there's definitely Muslims here in North Bay. They're in all they're all over Canada. You know, when Harper was in Parliament, and even before Prime Minister, you know, Canada has always been open doors for immigration, straight up. But you see, it's also biblical plague for locusts to rise from the east and swarm to the west and kill off population. And what are we seeing with Islam? The rise of false prophet Muhammad, who wrote the book of Quran, you know, to kill, search and destroy, rape, murder. Um, you know, it's a pretty awful religion. I don't understand why, but that their goal is to pretty much eliminate all who don't believe or follow their God, and to only be one religion worldwide. That's their goal. That's their aim. It's you know, and for the most part, for the last 15 years, the East Coast of Canada, Montreal, Quebec, especially Ottawa and Toronto as well, has uh, grown large to immigration. Um, Chinese, Asians, as well as East Indians. But in these cities and in the local townships, I should say more like the local townships that are not in the city directly, they're more on the outskirts, right? Smaller towns. Um, the Muslim Islamic community has invested in land. They have built institutes, and they're very quiet right now. They're all over the place. But in major cities, we see a lot of them. You know, it's not out of the ordinary now to not see um, none other than an East Indian or an Asian owning a corner store. And I don't mean to be uh, uh, discriminating at all, or but you know, I gotta say there's specific businesses that they've just taken over. such as that, taxi companies as well, and it's all small business operations that are just, they can hide money very well. And so Eastern Canada, you have Quebec, Montreal, and that's like one of the major cities in the eastern Canada that is just crazily way overpopulated with the rise of Islam. And there's a couple mosques over there too. Toronto is another huge city, biggest city in Ontario. Ottawa, Ottawa has changed. I dislike going to any of these cities because it's just crazy busy traffic. And Ottawa alone, our capital, it's it's flooding with crime. It's crazy, like it's insane. Most residents will face a break-in 3 times a year. It's gotten that bad. And um, like what Trudeau's doing to, he's pretty much backing up Muslim communities to um, take a stand against its own people, man, its own patriots. Now, for the western part, you have like Alberta, um, Edmonton, um, Vancouver. Vancouver is it's all Asian. It's, it's not shocking. It's right across the ocean, but Edmonton, Calgary, Vancouver, those are the other cities that are also facing a huge impact on Muslim immigration. In between Saskatchewan, Manitoba, it's mostly uh, farming. You know, there's not a lot of huge cities there. There's not even 30 million residents in Canada. Look at the states; they're 560, 550 million. It's crazy. Look at China. Look at India, a billion. I think India hit like 2 billion, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, or just under that. Now they're coming here. They've invaded Europe. It's crazy to see, it's crazy just to see everything go off the way it is. Are they really being disruptive? Yeah, absolutely. They're changing our laws, and they're becoming physically violent with anybody who um, protests anywhere in public areas. If you go check out Kevin J. Johnson, my buddy down in Toronto, Mississauga, he is standing up, and he's actually calling, he's asking, he's demanding that Donald Trump closes the borders, closes all import export with Canada in a recent video that he said today, and build a strong wall against Canada to stop what Trudeau is doing to Canada. You know, Canada, we're considered, oh, we're so nice, eh? We're just so nice. What's going on? It's like Canada is like a silent bomb right now. What's going on? What's coming if we don't see an impact from North Korea in the next week? It's going to be just like Canada is going to become like Europe, but even worse because there's so much land here that's not being developed and infrastructure like the rest of the states. Or look at Beijing, for example. There is still a lot of land here that could be used. And you know that's their goal. It's biblical. To wipe us out. That's what they want to do. you know Babu watches channel in Montreal. They don't mention Muslim problems. Yeah, because they don't want it. They don't want the media talking about that. They don't. Why would they want to talk about a problem that the country is creating in its own country? You know, there's a lot of respectful and honest and loving East Indians, but the Islamists are the extremists. They are. You know, that's where it all comes down to. Uh, Obama, when he was in office, he let in over 7 million in the US. Then when Trump came in, what did he do? Boom, 7 countries of concern for immigration will put to a halt. They'll go through multiple interviews, and a lot more security is, he did a good move there. He did a good move there because protecting the people. Now, because of those laws, a lot of the Muslims are coming to Canada because Canada is wide open doors. Come on in. Come on in. It's like playing Tetris. Okay, when you fill in the hole, you move up. Okay, Canada is the big hole right now. That's where it's at. you know it's crazy. In Toronto, I gotta say, Kevin J. Johnson again. You're on my show. I mention you all the time on my show, brother. um he's been jumped, he's been beaten, his cameraman's been hospitalized. um the Islamic movement in Canada is huge right now against Canadians. They're beating us up. Uh, Beating us up. That's a light term. They're killing us. There's crime all the time. There's killings. It's crazy everywhere you go in major cities. It's happening. It's happening. But they don't. They're not gonna talk about it. Because they can come over here and get free government support. India is such a wealthy country. You know, the Americans act like they have gold. You know, you should see the gold that India has. It's crazy. You know, there are so many. There was a woman from who was born in Saudi Arabia and who was raised to kill and behead Palestinians and others in that area who did not follow um, Allah. Okay, this woman is her name is Sandra. I'll find it right now. Um, she she's been on the show with Kevin J. Johnson and pretty much sharing her story, how she was raised in an Islamic environment and she had to herself behead. She had to, or she would be stoned to death. Um, um, what's the proper term for this? Literally dissect female mutilation. You know, um, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. It's wild, man. Um I don't have kids, and if I did, I wouldn't be sending them to schools. That's for a fact right now in Canada. Also, other good channels here in Canada, Rebel Report or Rebel Media. He's another good one for Canada. You coming and just to top off media channels on YouTube. As of January, they've even before that, for the last 2 years, they've been filtering. But as of January 2017, they made a massive move on what gets circulated. And if it ain't mainstream media or third party uh, alternative outpost, all other single posted um, channels like myself and others are at the bottom of the list. And you really got to go through channel to channel, who's in their favorites, who's in their featured channels to find out what's really going on. And all this as of April this year, like it's huge. The YouTube community is has been filtered gravely. And I'm not sure if you've seen this, but YouTube, I gotta go find this right now. YouTube has a special page. Let me go find it right now. But um, it's not like Facebook, but YouTube has its own features for kids to watch movies, and it's actually leading them to watch porn and other adult entertainment and just nasty stuff that's not even considered to be Uh, I don't even know. I lost my words there. But yeah, check this out. YouTube has been leading kids to be I'm losing my words. Like it's so sad to see kids today grow up in the environments that they are because everybody's glued to a phone, a mobile app device, or something, and everybody hates each other. It's crazy. There's no more creative skills among society. We're seeing the agenda of the new world order take place for sure, guaranteed. Society's condemned. Society is conditioned. All right, yeah, Richie from Boston actually released this good video on what YouTube is promoting right now for its kids viewers. Let me go get this there for you. Mm. All right, all right, all right. Huh. Video can no longer find. What's going on here? Let me find this here. But there's a lot of disgusting events that are happening on YouTube right now. There's also a couple of big YouTubers that have millions of subscribers and followers who are promoting pedophilia or um, what's the other one that they're pushing? YouTube is owned by Google. Google, biggest corporation in the world. They're part of the globalists, the elites. They're Satanists. They worship Satan. They drink blood. They pedo kids. They're involved in human trafficking. They're against you, and they're all for themselves. They're a family. They're one big party, and you're not in it because you don't have RHD negative blood, fallen angel blood. That's what it is. That's what it is. They're gonna come out soon and claim to us that they're they're our gods, and I can't wait to rise up, man, with Christ and be like, you have no power here. Yeah, Babu, listen, you can't. I don't see porn on YouTube either, but for kids who go on these uh, whatever channels they're looking at, I've actually seen one. I've seen a channel. It's got like 2 million subscriber base, and the interaction. Okay, imagine a channel who there's a guy, two older men. Okay, dressed up in costumes, and there's two little girls, two little boys dressed up in very um, Wizard of Oz costumes like, and they're what they are doing, interacting together and producing for the viewer to watch is disturbing. Okay, it doesn't even make sense. It's not like watching Sesame Street or Blue's Clues or some kind of kid show. No, what they are producing is um this is really hard to explain because I just watched this the other day. Somebody fell on it. If you've seen the Vigilant Christian Mario covered this not too long ago, not even a week ago. There are channels out there that are subliminally promoting sex, pedophilia, transgenderism. You know, it's a huge problem right now. It's a huge problem right now for kids on YouTube. Okay, hang on. Just type in search YouTube. I'm guilty. YouTube star Austin Jones faces child pornography charges. Boom, first one found. Man found guilty of possessing child porn. Sentencing. Mark Salling, another one. Child pornography charges. Former kids. Oh my gosh. There's so much. All right, check this out. I'm really getting off topic of this, so I'm gonna close it down soon. I'll show you guys something. So I'm going over to TVC's channel. Okay, Mata Ken's vlogs, YouTube channel. Mata Ken's vlogs, disturbing child abuse YouTube videos. There's this channel right here. It's disgusted me in such a way that I can't believe that YouTube is promoting this. Actually, in fact, I can because I know what they're all about. Where did I see this about YouTube though? There was a specific thing I seen. Hold up, hold up. I'll find it again. Okay. Entertainment. No, 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 no. Not there. Google for kids. All right. I'm going to do a screen share right here. Now you can see what I'm talking about. Okay. Google for kids search engine delivers porn and violence to children. This is starting to come out. It's been going on for a long time. So kiddleco.uk, dubbed the Google for Children, claims to be safe, child-friendly internet search engine. Google for Children. So it's, YouTube's involved for sure. But according to internet sloths, uh, some rather dark and disturbing content completely unsuitable for children has been discovered lurking on its platform. Now I've looked into this and it's absolutely what it is they say it is. Oh, wait, but the website has no association with Google, but it's referred to as Google for Kids. Yeah, sure. It uses Google custom search bar embedded with the website in a bid to filter out adult material. Well, how does that work? It's pretty much doing the opposite. Yeah. So be aware, man. Like for sure. What? How does this look like it's not made by Google? Look, they even spell Kittle with all different colors, just like Google does. They put a really weird 2D, 3D background. What is this? What is this thing? If you flip this thing upside down, it actually looks like another being. It's really weird, actually. Web, image, news, videos posted just like Google. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. A number of Twitter users have also reported their own unfortunate discoveries while using the site. Danish radio presenter pets rabbit for before killing it live on the air. You know, publicity like this for kids being uh, enabled to watch killing little innocent animals. Um, last time, last time I checked, um, very known serial killers, you know, had the grew up doing these sorts of things. This psychological disruption of the brain, you know, killing little innocent animals to watch them die. You know, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. We're on an end, man. Our time now is short, man. Get right with God. If you have hatred, a message, man, from Andre Entertainment, you have any hatred in your heart against anybody in the world, you, I beg you, take it up with God and forgive that person 100%. Because if you don't, hatred in the heart is murder to the Father. Okay, these are not my words, these are His. Straight up, repent from these emotions, these, because you know the battlefield isn't where North Korea and Trump is at. No, the battlefield is spiritual warfare. You know, Satan, Lucifer, and his dominions, his demons. You know, they're after your soul. They are hunters of man's soul. He wants to take away your peace in your heart. For judgment day comes, you will be judged upon your black seeds in your heart. Now, there's nobody on this plane that's never committed, you know, a sin. We've all said a lie. We've all stolen something. We, you know, and the sins get greater, you know, with the more power that you have. Responsibility can be abused, and you know, so on and so forth. But let me tell you this: forgiveness and hatred don't go hand in hand. If there's anybody out there that you have a bad relationship with, whether it be your neighbor, whether it be your brother, whether it be someone in the family, whether it be someone who did you wrong long time ago and you know you backstabbed them, ask God for forgiveness because God forgave you for your sins. Okay, but you also must ask for forgiveness. Okay, it's like a two-way street, you know? It really is. Absolutely. All right, I'm signing off. Been shooting the shit here for a little while. YouTube doesn't like me. Catch us live this week, hosting all week.